And who am I? That's not a secret I'll never tell. You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.
What's up? We got Gossip Girl, Season 5, Episode 22, The Raiders of the Lost Art. This episode starts off with Blair, with the icon, Lola, telling Serena to watch her, bringing Serena crepeche to taste. Serena asks if she can sit down so she can finish typing. Lola says, all she does now is type. Serena replies that after everything that went down with her family's big blow-up, writing is her new outlet and keeps her sane. Meanwhile, at her new hotel, Diana is on the phone with Jack, assuming that their operation will go as planned since everyone's convinced she's Chuck's mom. Jack says that what time is Diana's guest arriving, and she goes to find her planner to check when she realizes that she can't find it. She tells Jack that she'll ring him back. That's actually what she says. She does not say call him. She says, I'll ring you back. Like why not say call? Like, okay. And she decides to ring up Nate. I'm not going to say call. Ring up Nate. To accuse him of stealing her planner. He plays dumb and says, I have no idea what you're talking about. And maybe you left it at your office, or maybe your assistant took it. And she says she believes him, but she can't find it. She's going to come to him. At the Empire, Chuck is looking over Diana's planner to see if he can find anything of interest, namely anything linking her to Jack and Jack being his father. Which is still weird. Chuck admits the whole book is in code and he has no luck cracking it. But he also has no luck tracking down Jack. Nate remarks that it would take a special level of crazy to hide secrets like that, and Jack replies that he's going out for a bit. Lola then arrives and asks what is having any luck. Nate says that Serena must have changed the password. Yeah, by the way, Lola told Nate about Serena being Gossip Girl off screen. Like, literally. He went, episode 19, he only told her that he didn't believe her, and now he's just cool with it, and knows now. Like, bro. In episode 19, when Lola tried to tell him, he accused her of lying and didn't believe her at all. But now he knows and he's okay with it. Again, the writers not using crucial scenes that are important and just having them happen off screen. So Nate now knows Serena's Gossip Girl and says that Serena must have changed the password. Serena must have changed the password and username to the site since she got it. Lola says they're glad he finally believes her and he apologizes for doubting her. Nate, you should also apologize for treating her like dirt, ignoring her, and totally not believing her in the slightest. Yeah, Nate did a lot of things. He's a terrible boyfriend. He was a terrible boyfriend to her. At the Waldorf, Dan's getting ready to leave the loft to meet Alessandra, who wants to read the first chapter of his new book. He admits that he's completely finished since he's suffering from writer's block. Blair tells him about her plans today, including going to the Mets. To find her inspiration on how to be her original self. The OGB. The original Blair Waldorf. The original gangster Blair. She tells him about, at the Empire, they agree to meet for lunch. Nate and Lola discuss next steps on how to deal with Serena being Gossip Girl. Nate suggests the real Gossip Girl might help them. Nate says, isn't the opportunity right now, opportune time to open up since they're busy with the Bass family drama. Lola says that Serena and Diana are allies, and it's a two birds, one stone situation. Nate agrees to text real Gossip Girl for help, and Lola says she'll go visit Serena and see if she's willing to help with Diana. At the law, Dana arrives to find Alessandra already inside. She demands to know demands the manuscript, but Dan says it's coming along. She knows she's blocked and has a solution. If he meets her friend Lucia for lunch, he'll find out what, and he says he already has plans with Blair. But Alessandra says he'll promise he'll want to cancel them after he sees her plan, after he sees what she has. Elsewhere, Blair's on her way to the museum when she's stopped by Chuck. She's in the middle of asking for help to crack down the code when she gets a text from Dan saying that he has to cancel lunch. Has to cancel lunch? Has to cancel lunch. But, and he found his inspiration. So then she agrees to help Chuck. At the Waldorf, Lola arrives to see Serena, who wants to know why Lola is there after she told her to stay away in the last episode. Lola replies that she doesn't want to stand why Serena hates her after when she's done a good job protecting her secret, and goes to leave when Serena says if it's that important, she doesn't want to hear. Lola announces that she can't trust Diana because Serena can't trust Diana because Diana's working with the real gossip girl to take Serena down. Serena is surprised since Diana has history with Gossip Girl and is probably trying to protect her. Lola says that it might help if he can find Diana's secret first. Lola explains that Nate stole Diana's planner, but it's in code. If Serena can break the code, she will have Diana's secret. Serena then mentions how once she saw Diana's transcribe her planner using a small notebook, and Lola realizes that that's probably the key to the code. She asks Serena to get it, and Serena asks to go to Diana's office to find it, so as long as Lola can help her figure out the secret, Lola leaves, and Serena heads back to her computer and messages Diana that Nate that Diana was right. They have her book. Diana replies that Serena knows what the next step is. So Serena calls Lola from Diana's office and says she can't find anything. And also, yeah, this episode, was Blake Lively sick or something? Because her voice is way deep. Her voice sounds like that she had a cold or something, but the writers just told her to keep working because her voice does not sound as it usually does. So I'm just guessing that for these two episodes, for episode 22 and 23, Blake Lively was sick or something because her voice does not sound the normal voice. It's weird. She must have been sick, but weird the writers allowed her to continue writing even though she was continue acting, doing that she was sick. So yeah. Well, we're yeah, Serena calls Lola from Diana's office and says she can't find anything anywhere. Lola encourages her to keep looking since Nate doesn't see it out at the hotel. Serena says she'll leave when she does, it's revealed that Diana's staying across from Serena, saying that that's creating the key notebook was genius. Serena tells her that not to worry since the book is useless for the code, but Diana says she won't feel completely better until she gets her planner back. She proposes that Serena can help her get back and she can give her the real Gossip Girl's phone number. Diana suggests that they use the number to track her down and then blackmail her into keeping the site. Serena asks how she is sure it's the real number, and Diana says she'll find out when she gets the book back. After Waldorf, Blair comes downstairs dressed like Diana, and she takes the book and takes the book from Chuck and begins eliminating classic common code. She gives her cipher slide and explains that she wrote the diary in code at one point when she was suspecting Eleanor was reading them. She realizes it's the first Saturday of every month, so they're appointment made up of 14 or 15 letters. And if they crack those, everything can be translated. She points out that this month's appointment is that night. Chuck chimes in and says Nate was dating Diana during some of the months, and maybe he remembers something. And they go off to find Nate. Meanwhile, Diana meets Alessandra's friend Lucia for lunch. She explains that she wants him to attend the Arts and Letter Institute in Rome and be there for the whole summer. Dan is of course shocked and says he's honored and he really needs it, and continues that he wants to talk to Blair about it. Lucia says that she's leaving next day and will answer and he needs his answer the next night. He promised to give her the answer by that night. At the Empire, Nate and Lola are looking for information and to tell her found. Serena arrives and apologizes for not being better luck on her search. She says she's the one who originally saw the key maybe and saw the planet. On the phone, Dan tells Blair about his invitation, and she says he would have gone all the summer. Blair says that she can never stand his way for opportunity, and tells Dan she's with the Empire Chuck, Serena, Nate, and Lola. She reminds him of their conversation earlier about how they don't hold each other back and hangs up. Meanwhile, Nate can't remember anything unusual on Saturday he spent with Diana, and they usually don't spend time together outside the office. She says that the cue is to leave she says that's her cue to leave and heads to the elevator, promising to look for the key. Blair goes to get the book and realizes it's gone, and Lola pieces together that Serena stole it and stops her from leaving. At the law, Dan's telling Rufus how he wants him to go to Blair's room, but she was too happy for him, and thinks she wants to leave so she can be with Chuck. Rufus gives Dan some good. Rufus says Blair loves Dan, but Dan confesses they haven't exchanged those words yet. Rufus encourages him to talk to her, and Dan goes to see her. It's kind of where that Lily is in this episode. Rufus is only in this episode. Back at the Empire, Serena says that getting Gossip Girl's phone number is the most important thing than Nate. Diana as a spectator. Chuck asks if it's more important than finding his father, since Diana lied about being his mother, and he thinks it's Jack. Serena says she didn't know, and tells him she's on their side. So yeah, it just took that. It took Chuck revealing that Jack's his father for Serena to be like, okay, now I'll team up with you. Okay, that's kind of a little bit sketchy. It took all that for her to switch sides. But sends the icon Dorota to be Diana's masseuse to massage the coat out of her. Love listens via Bluetooth. Dorota asks Diana what she missed on her last appointment. Diana replies that she didn't book a session. Diana asks what day it was, and Dorota, the icon. Dorota says that it was the first Saturday prior month. Diana says that she was in Europe that day, and Diana digs her elbows into Diana so much until she admits that she was in Portugal. She asks, and I love icon Dorota. Blair asks everyone what they know about Portugal, and Dan asks Chuck about a tutor he had. Chuck remembers she was from London, and Blair said if the code entry in Diana's planner could be different international phone numbers. She reads for KILL, and Nate says that's 555 in the telephone keypad. Blair uses her cipher slide to determine a possible numeric key for LLL could be 351. Chuck recognizes the number as a country code for Portugal, and Blair uses the numeric key to reveal the rest of the phone number on the planner and dials it. Chuck asks the woman who answers about the night, and the woman asks how many, and all three of them, and Chuck answers the three of them. Yeah, they agree to go, and Chuck says 3 people. And the woman asks if he wants a car, but he replies that their dress will be fine. She says it's a Verdon house in Briarcliff Manor, and she'll see him at 9. Chuck says hopefully Jack will be there, and Nate's hopeful someone who can tell him who Diana really is. He goes to get Arthur to bring the car around, and Nate goes to get Arthur to bring the car around, and texts Gossip Girl that he'll meet Gossip Girl there. Serena asks if she can have the book to find Gossip Girl, and Chuck asks he made a copy already, so Blair gives it to her. Outside, Dan is walking up the Empire where he sees Blair get a text from Blair telling him not to wait up for her. He sees her and Chuck get into a limo and follows them in a taxi. Also outside, Serena gives Diana her planner back, and she says just ask for it back, and then handed it over. Diana hands over a Gossip Girl number, and before Serena has a chance to look at it, Lola grabs it and says they can track the GPS location of how the phone using the phone number in her van. Serena goes to agree with them, and Lola secretly texts Nate that they're on their way. Blair, Chuck, and Nate arrive at the Verdon house and discover a brothel inside. Chuck realizes it's the same one Bart belonged to, and he's sure Jack is there. Nate wonders what it all has to do with Diana, and Chuck reminds him that when he finds out, he can force Diana as a spectator the right way. A girl approaches Chuck and offers to be his friend, but Blair moves between them and says he already has a friend. The girl offers to show Chuck and Blair's bedroom. They quickly agreed. Nate sees Lola and Serena both dressed as waitresses. Lola explains that the guy at the door asked if they were India's girl. So they said yes, and they were told to change. Serena replies that they tracked Gossip Girl's phone number, and it led them there. Lola says that if they want to find India, they find how Diana fits in. Nate sees Diana arrive and suggests he and Lola follow Diana, while Serena tracks down Gossip Girl. Upstairs, Chuck suggests to the girl leading them, that they could extend their search beyond the bedroom. She replies that they may not have time to see the whole house, but Blair says that they should see every room, even an occupied one. Outside, Dan is waiting in a taxi watching the house. He gets a talk from Rufus, who asks if Dan and Blair have been talked yet. Dan confesses he saw Blair and Chuck leave together in a limo and followed them. Rufus gives some good advice and tells Dan that he needs to trust Blair, and he's sure she'll tell him about her evening inside. Nate lies security guard and says he thinks he was drugged and demands him to talk to India. The guard says India is a city visitor. Elsewhere, Diana is on her phone when she sees Nate and Lola on security tape and calls someone on the phone that she can handle them crashing as long as it gets off fine. Then she whistles Blair and Chuck and tells the person that she needs to call him back, and then she calls security. Downstairs, Serena finds Blair and tells her that she's looking for Gossip Girl and asks if they're having any luck finding Jack. Blair says no, and she instructs Chuck and Josephine to head off without her while she goes off to look. She promises she won't let Diana see them. Serena tries to call Gossip Girl, and hears the phone ring. She tries to follow the sound when security begins everyone out. Calling and saying the cops are on their way. Meanwhile, Lola and Nate sneak upstairs, and Chuck opens the door to find Jack. Nate and Lola open the door and address Diana by her real name. And Blair opens the door and is shocked by saying, "No, it can't be." But she's escorted before we can actually see. Who she's discovered. So Jack tells Chuck that he loves Chuck, but he has to go. Chuck says he knows Diana is his mother, and tells him that he'd tell him the truth for one. He shows Jack a picture of pregnant Elizabeth and asks for one is Jack his father. Jack says he's been with a lot of Elizabeths, so yeah, he can't tell Chuck. Jack asks if he really wants to know, but before he can answer, security escorts him out. Blair emerges and asks Jack if he told Chuck what he's really hiding. Jack tells security to leave him and Blair's alone for a moment. That's where India tells Nate and Lola that whatever they think they know, they're wrong. Nate says that unless she can suspect her for good, he'll tell everyone how she runs a high-class prostitution ring. She says she isn't worried since they don't have proof, and she has a video of Nate checking out the girl. She says he'll take his chances with the cop when they arrive. But Diana reveals that the police aren't coming, and she was one who ordered everyone out. Serena enters the room, and Diana says she's never been to this house and doesn't know what's going on. Lola fills Serena in on that they need Gossip Girl to break the story of who Diana is. Nate says they already know Serena's been acting as Gossip Girl, but he won't tell anyone if Serena helps him out. She has her laptop in her bag, but she can send a blast from her phone. But when she tries to log in, the site won't let her. So yeah. So Diana leaves the room. Serena goes to get her computer. In the other room, Blair tells Jack she has no choice but to tell Chuck what she saw. Jack yells that a lot of people will get hurt if when this room ever comes out, and that everything was supposed to go perfectly, and she better hope it still does. Downstairs, Serena tells Nate and Lola her computer's gone, and they reveal that, they set her up to help the real Gossip Girl get her site back because she can get the computer to take control again. After Serena changed the password. Serena becomes peeved at them and says that she's different than the real Gossip Girl because she doesn't hurt people. Nate's like, Lola's like, Serena, you're hurting your friends. You're using Gossip Girl to hurt people and your friends. Serena tries to say that she's changed. She's not like the old Gossip Girl, but then argues that she isn't, and it doesn't. That Serena is like the old Gossip Girl, but doesn't matter since the real Gossip Girl is back. Serena tries to call the number for Gossip Girl, but Diana gave her, but discovers it's been disconnected. Outside, Blair finds Chuck and asks if he's why she looks upset. She replies that once everyone's gone, things quiet down. He needs to go back into the house. Chuck tells her to take his limo into the city. At the loft, Dan calls Lucia and tells her that he has decided not to accept the invitation after all. He explains that he doesn't think this relationship can work from Rome. And apologizes. Back at the house, Dan informs Jack that she wants to renegotiate her payment because the silence is expensive, and Jack agrees. At the Empire, Lola asks if Gossip Girl's up yet, and Nate says no, but when she is, he's going to tip her off about Diana. Lola then tells him about Serena that Gossip Girl already knew and wouldn't reveal it because she'd rather blackmail Diana than expose her. Nate replies that that's the only way to expose her if he runs the story. That the only way to expose Diana is if he runs the story himself. At the Waldorf, Serena's eating berries alone when Dora sees her on the way out. She asks where her computer is, and Serena explains that it belonged to someone else, and they took it back. Dora explains that they can just go to Best Buy and buy a new one, but Serena says that she go to Best Buy and buy a new one so Serena can feel control again, but Serena doesn't know because it's impossible anymore. Dora leaves. Serena gets a blast from about Blair heading back to Brooklyn at the loft. Dan finds Blair, enters and finds Blair. He asks how her day of scheming went, and Blair asks if he's upset with her. Blair lies and says that he's upset with Lucia because she found another writer and they wanted more to attend into. Blair says she's sorry and he wants to go get dinner so that she can tell him about her night. On their way out, Dan stops Blair and tells her that he loves her. She doesn't say anything back. Back at the dinner, Chuck opens the door to find Diana talking to his father, Bart Bass, who is very much alive and not dead like we were told previously. Oh yeah, that's episode 22. Bart didn't die in season 2. He's been alive this entire time. But still, how does that explain the ghost? How does that explain the ghost that Chuck was talking to? So Bart isn't dead. I guess next episode we'll find out more about this on why Bart Bass isn't dead. And yeah. So yeah. Serena's the Gossip Girl the real Gossip Girl, whoever she is, took back the site from Serena. 2, Bart Bass is alive. He didn't die in season 2 like the writers tried to trick me into believing he did. And 3, that's who Blair was saying no, it can't be. When she opened the door, she discovered Bart and saying, no, it can't be, because she thought he was dead, like the rest of the characters and me. I thought Bart was dead, but no, he's not. He's still alive. I was shocked. I was shocked by seeing Bart alive. I was like, wait, what? So yeah, so that's who Blair was saying no, it can't be. Because she thought Bart was dead, and she was like, no, it can't be. Bart Bass is still alive? So yeah. Bart Bass is still alive. But, you love me. XOXO, Gossip Girl, even if the real Gossip Girl's back, I'm still Gossip Girl in the outro sense. See you next time. You love me. XOXO, Gossip Girl.